Now I want to segue into the HTA Design Partner and want kind of a cheat sheet on how to up your game faster, better. Let this be your guide. So first of all, I won't go through all this because I've already been preaching to the choir with you, but we're just letting them know they need to get technology designed early, that these are proactive integrators. We're helping architects, designers, and builders of design. Okay, all that good stuff. Again, this is for the trade partner page and consumers. Now let's get, I already shared one thing with you, this earlier. This is the drawing requirements that are needed to opt in. And again, if it's something that you don't do in-house and you need some help, I have a list of third-rate these drawings for integrators. So I'll share them with you. Step 2, some of this, by the way, is going to be common sense, and most of it should be common sense, but maybe there's a few gems in here for you. Again, and here's the point. This isn't my opinion or anybody at HTA's opinion. This came in with talking to architects, designers, and builders and doing the homework to find out why they're not hiring you early. So we've done the hard work. You're benefiting from it here. Step 2, don't work without a contract. Kind of simple and basic, but clearly define payment terms and what products and services they are providing. Don't let it be wishy-washy or vague. We're also defining project management requirements that HTA Design Partners are going to be proactive, notify the architect, designer, and interior designer who the various project team staff are in their firm, who to reach out to for what types of project information. This is basically about open communication. So let them know how to engage with you. And also there's built into this is the commitment to respond to RFIs within 24 hours on business days. And this will gain a lot of respect. So if they're asking for something and you can't respond within 24 hours because you haven't got the information back because you're reliant on somebody else, let them know that at least you acknowledge the fact that they're asking for it and say, hey, I know you need to get some cabinet drawings or some dimensions for your cabinet. I've reached out to the other parties. I don't have it yet, but just let you know I'm on it, and then keep following up. They will appreciate the fact that you've acknowledged the fact they're asking for something. That goes a long, long, long way. Step 4 is a big one, and this might be an eye-opener. Maybe it shouldn't be, but maybe it is with some. So here's the, I was vented on by architects and designers. I brought the integrator in. The integrator went out. It's an integrator I like and refer, but they did this. They put a lighting system, or they sold a lighting system. They sold shades, and they didn't even contact me or ask about the finish, the color, because they're familiar with different keypad options. They've probably all seen Lutron lighting systems and seen their keypad options. They didn't even ask me what color, what finish, the shades. They didn't ask me what fabrics. Now, that's not good. If they referred you, their designer and architect especially, where they really care about these details, maybe the client has told you directly what they want, but it goes a long, long way to show the respect to them. They will appreciate having input on anything that's visible. They're not used to that. If you say, oh, we're going to put these speakers in because they match the light cans and stuff, they love it. 5, proactive communication. I won't get into all this details here. This is on our site, but commitment to customer service, commitment to doing a punch list, commitment to doing adequate training on a handoff meeting. Here's another big one though, number 9. If you never want to disrespect any of those trade partners in front of the client, if they're being difficult or you have a problem or they're saying something wrong in front of a client, almost have like a safe word, or just say, hey, let's talk about that after I have some ideas. Let's go on to the next point. You don't want to make them look bad. You want to make them look like a hero instead. And this is a big one too. This is a real, real big one. Number 10. This I hear all the time from architects, designers, and builders. They're afraid of getting you in front of their client because too many salespeople are going in with, I'm going to sell you this. You're going to get a lighting system. You're going to get a control system. You're going to get this. And the client might not want this. Maybe it's the best thing for them, yes. But if they're telling you no, and you keep pushing it, it's a turnoff. Your job is to consult and educate them and then let them make the decisions. So that is a big thing for you to know. Some very successful salespeople, one of them here in LA that does over $8 million a year on his own, one guy, still has this problem that the architect perceives him as a product pusher, even though he's not. But that because of bad past experiences, he still has to fight this perception. And then another one here is just about don't pay them under the table. That's not cool. You should be hired based on your skills, not on payola, because the next integrator that's going to pay the bigger commission is going to take that relationship away from you. So that's what the HTA Design Partner thing is. So HTA dealers, there's an opt-in page. About 61% of HTA dealers have opted in since we launched this program in January 15th. Now, this is a two-sided relationship. So here's like what we're really, really excited about. We did the hard work of interviewing them and saying, what are the things holding you back? We built this HTA Design Partner thing, and then I went back to them and says, okay, we've identified these behaviors and attitudes and rules of conduct. If we could find you integrators that follow these 11 steps, would you hire them early? And they go, heck yeah, this is great. I love this. This makes total sense. Excellent. Boom. Here's what we need of you. Turn the table on them. So now I'm going to flip the page to the HTA Technology Partner program. This is the consumer-facing page here. And this explains to the world what an HTA Technology Partner is. This is basically, in a nutshell, a proactive trade partner that doesn't bury their head in the sand with technology, that they understand that technology has to be put in early. That's it in a nutshell. And that they're going to work with the qualified integrator to get that designed. That's all it means. It's not a big lift for them. And there's no architect, designer, builder you talk to that once you share this with them is going to go, that's stupid. I don't get it. They will understand it once it's been codified like this. So we require things of them. So what we did, HTA representing you, said, okay, great. We'll find those integrators out there that want to behave this way, but here's something that we hear from them that you may inadvertently be messing up them doing their job. So here's what we need out of you. So this is explaining to the world what it is, but here's their opt-in page. There's a different page for, this one says architects and interior designers opt-in. There's a different page for builders because obviously you talk to builders a little differently, but it's the same 5 things down here. Step 1, engage with you early. It's never too early to engage an integrator. Step 2, you need to talk to the client. Don't go through it in between. Don't go through a project manager, an estate manager, an owner's rep, personal assistant. We're letting them know that's a fail. Number 3, this you probably have this happen where the client goes, I want a home theater. And the architect says, no, you don't. Isn't at my house. I want the home theater. So we're just telling them, let the clients decide. I'll be a great integrator for you. I'm not going to work against you, but let the client decide. Step 4 here, we're letting them know that quality integrators charge. So we're kind of paving the road for them to let them know that you are going to charge for your design and engineering. They don't have a problem with this. This might be a bigger problem in your head than exists in real life. Value what you know. If you're doing design and engineering documentation, that's a skill set it took you years to know. You should get paid for that. And even if some competition, some subpar competition in town is doing this for free, do better drawings, show them to them. And, you heard the expression, you get what you pay for. And if you want to, this is up to you, it's your own company policy, but if you feel guilty in charging them, then you might credit them all or some of it back if they wind up hiring you for the installation. But look at this as its own phase with its own deliverable. And if they walk away later on, hey, you got paid for your design work. But the chance of them walking away after you do the discovery meeting with them and you know the dog's name and how many kids they have and where their favorite music is, and you built that rapport, the chance of them going to someone else goes down so small. You're losing that job goes down very small. And then lastly, number 5, we're telling them, don't be asking for under the table fees in so many words. We're letting them know, I'm not going to read all the words here, but we're letting them know it's okay to get paid from working with an integrator. That's fine. But we define that and we tell them how to do it. General contractors already know how to do this, but designers often are the ones that are going to ask for money from you. We're telling them, don't ask for money under the table, but there's 3 ways you could get compensated from working in an integrator. And we're telling them kind of how to do that. So a lot of work went into this. This is started in the 90s and here we are. It took a long time to get to this. You could use this as a great shortcut on kind of how to go about this. We have not made a big push on this yet because we're doing a website redesign. Our website is going to look a lot more attractive to trade partners with a reskin. And once we relaunched that, which for 2-3 months or so, it depends on how fast the web work gets done. We're going to make a big push with the press release on this. And we're part of multiple trade associations, NAHB, NKBA, IDS, NARI, and AIBD so far. So they're going to know about this. And this is the other cool thing, the trade partners are able to create free listings on our site if they so choose. Let them know, hey, we're an association here that wants to make the technology process easy for you. We're not going to force them to become an HTA technology partner. And any smart trade partner knows that having a backlink to your website from a .org association like HTA is only going to help them with SEO. And we're giving them this logo, the one that you see on your screen, that they could put on their site if they so choose. But we're telling them, hey, it doesn't cost anything really to put that on there. And if you link it back to that other page, the public facing page, that differentiates you as an architect or a designer or a builder, because you're telling your clients that you're going to handle the technology proactively, and most of your competition's buried their head in the sand on this. So we expect this to get some traction, but we haven't really put the big push on that yet. If you already have the 31% of you that are having relationships where they're bringing you in early enough, great. Are you going to bring up HTA Technology Partner to them? Probably not, because you're already being on the project early enough. But for those of you that are looking to go out there and create new relationships, I would bring this up. You could say, here's the great way that you and I can work together. This is the rules of engagement. I promise to work this way. There's these 11 things I'm going to follow. Would you please follow these 5 things? And if we do this, oh my God, we're going to win awards together, because the project's going to go smooth. Your clients are going to thank you for this, and all is going to go well. So we've got some 2 Q&As here. And yes, the copy of the presentation will be distributed to attendees at the end of the meeting. What we're going to do, we're recording this. So there'll be a recording of this, and you shoot me an email, jc@htacertified.org, and I'll be sure to get you that link. And Jason's thought is, I feel that HTA Technology Partner info should come from HTA, not us. I think it makes it more credible. Coming from a dealer, it seems like we are working behind the scenes with HTA to create these requirements. Thanks for your comment on that, but here's the thing. We are getting this out. We're an association, a small association. We got a whole continent of architects, designers, and builders to reach. So think of the logistics of that. We don't have a $1 billion ad budget, but we do have relationships with the trade associations, and we're letting them know about these things. The press release has already gone out to them, and our continued work with them and letting them know that this exists, and through SEO efforts and our social media efforts, we're getting the word out. But just like any credential you have, when you explain, if you want to win projects, if you're a CDS certified person, if you're an HTA certified company, if you won awards, you want to bring these things up, it differentiates you. It's a standard, it's published. It's the perception is that they haven't created this. If you go to our site and read around on our site, it's pretty clear who created this and who created the standard, and that it was built with the input with architects, designers, and builders as well, especially the standard. And the idea is, here's what I'm really pushing everybody to do. We don't have time to go over these now, but our dealers should know these, because these went out in our last newsletters. Top 7 architect marketing tips are here. Top 9 builder remodeler marketing tips here. We don't have time to go through these all now. And top interior designer marketing tips. In these, I have a link. I'll just open it now. These are all the different trade associations we have identified in their chapter finders. You're the boots on the ground. They're looking to hire you, not us, right? So we want to get the word out there. We want to pave the way, let them know that there's such a thing as HTA. There's a standard of excellence, and that you exist as integrators out there, the good ones. You are the ones that are going to make those individual relationships. And when you get these relationships built well, they are like ATM machines. I was talking to a rep yesterday, and he said they're the unpaid sales force, because you do a good job, they're going to keep sending you all their work. Architects, designers, and builders are going to keep sending you all their work because you do a good job for them. But you have to build that personal relationship. We can't do that for you as an association, but we could lead the way. And I am crowdsourcing from our HTA dealers. We got 240 of them by the end of this week that are certified, that you teach us. We will learn what works with you, and mixing this with personal experience and also from the experience of our board of advisors, you're benefiting from this crowdsourced information. I wish I knew today what I knew then. I would be a much more successful salesperson back then. And Bruce is asking, what traction do you have in penetrating the Canadian Trade Association markets? It's a good question, Bruce. And the transparent answer is that not yet. We have less than 10 Canadian dealers now, but Canada is growing. We will have them. I already have some outreach to the IDC. I think that's what's called, Interior Designers of Canada. I think that's what it's called. So we'll be working with that too. And Brett Stenger, an awesome rep, CI Partners, love him, and Kevin there. They're very proactive, and they're also helping connect us with Build and Hava and some of these other other associations up there. So our footprint's going to grow up there. We ran out of time. Well, I'm willing to stay on as long as possible, but this is let's call this the official end because we said it's 1 hour, but I'm willing to stay on and answer any questions now. I thank you all for your attention and hope you learned a lot from this. If you want to be certified, then you could apply it. If you just go to our website, htacertified.org, and you click on the Get Certified link in the footer, that starts the online application. If you have any questions about HTA, want to go over benefits more, then please reach out to us. And I have one more poll I should have launched. It's probably a little earlier, but I'll launch it now for those that are still on. Would love to. Okay, why is this not coming up? Oh, I gotta stop this one. Still there. Okay. Okay. This is another question. Now that you've heard about this HTA Design Partner, what's your opinion about it? Do you think it's good? Do you think not sure? Want to let know more? Reach out. But I'd just love to get your input on this. And for those that are putting in, I'd like to know more, please contact me. Maybe you could email me because I won't necessarily know that maybe I will in the poll results that you want to be reached out, but I'll be more than happy to explain this to. But I want to thank you all for your attention, and the Q&A, I'm going to bring the Q&A back up. I'll stay on for another hour if you want and answer all your questions. Here's one. Do you have any talking points or examples on how to describe getting paid for the design fee phase? I don't have any templates. What I would do, I have some anecdotal information. So the company I work for, DSI Entertainment Systems, and this information goes back to 2014, as last year I worked there full year. But we were charging what we call it a DSA, a design service agreement, and our base fee was roughly $1 a square foot, and it would scale a little different if the house was really huge or really small, and that would include a certain set of drawings, but that would not include lighting control system design. That would not cover like a home theater design if it was going to be an intricate theater. We would bring in an outside theater consultant. You probably know some out there that has its own set of fees. But we use that $1 a square foot as the basics for like pre-wire design, device placement drawings, heat calcs, electrical calcs, a lot of those things you saw in step 1 of the HTA Design Partner. But if you're part of a buying group, I know buying groups often share this stuff within them as well. But I know it's usually a few $1,000s. And if you're an HTA certified, that was an anonymous question, so I don't know who's asking it. If it's an HTA person, let me know, send me an email, and I'll let you know of a couple of HTA folks I know that do charge for design. They can tell you what they do. I mean, they're different markets. Obviously, your market might vary, but the point is they will pay. I don't want this ever to be a loss leader for you. It should be a profit center. At least cover your expenses, but it was a profit center at my old company. Not only was it a profit center, but our close ratio went up massively. And if you're going to hold fast to, let's be real, some relationships that you have that are super tight, with a certain architect, designer, builder, maybe you don't charge them because you have this long relationship with them, and you don't, and you know your close ratio is like 100% with them, then don't. But you also, if they can't say yes to a few $1,000s on a sizable system, then they're tire kickers, and they might be only interested in price, and that's a losing thing. Especially for an HTA certified firm, you could back up your credentials that you're a certified firm, like you're laying out that you're good, and they should be able to pay for that. If they don't want to pay for that, then you might have saved yourself a lot of wasted time. Any other questions? Let's see. I haven't had the chat box up. Okay, and you got my information here too. Great. So my contact information, Jeff, my buddy here, my partner in crime, is there to help as well. Any other questions? Feel free to ask. Oh, hey, Brett, I see you're on here too, on attendee. Thank you. I was talking about Brett from HTA Partners in Canada, very proactive rep firm. Love how you are reaching out to architects, designers, and builders in Canada. It's great to see you on there. And anybody else? I think we got all the, let's see, here's another one. Builders I have dealt with usually leave technology to the end, not preparing clients for the costs associated. Yes. Do you have any quick tips? Where we are located, builders want the cheapest, not the best. That's a tough one. The last sentence, the last two sentences are kind of the hard part. What I was going to say is use the HTA calculator. Many of you, I didn't get into that today because this wasn't a full-blown HTA commercial, but I'll share the screen for those of you that don't know of this secret weapon. It might not be the answer that you're asking for here, because if the builder is only interested in cheap, here's the HTA homes, but we have this calculator, just 17 basic questions, and it creates budgets. But this could be a big help even in your situation here. So here's how when I'm teaching builders, again, I was taught 2 classes last month at IBS about this. And you're right, a lot of builders are interested in cheap. And another challenge that you're facing now is you got some lower end DIY level brands that have big marketing budgets that are showing up at shows like the International Builder Show and showing their wares and acting like they are competitors with the higher end control systems, like the control floors, Savants, Crestrons, and the Elons. Like say, call those the 4 big ones, or Josh AI too. And they're selling these really cheap DIY stuff and saying it does the same thing. You and I don't know it doesn't. What I'm telling the builders is we built this budget calculator. It's a brand agnostic. It doesn't cover DIY level stuff. It covers professionally installed good equipment, going from, let's say, an entry-level luxury car on up to esoteric high-end luxury. It does not cover DIY. But what we tell them is, can you get systems put in less than our calculator? Yes, you can. But there's typically going to be some compromises for your client. So you want to bring an integrator in anyways and let them consult with the client so their expectations are met, because this is what we're doing at HTA, educating them this. 99% of the time, the spec sheet doesn't work in the real world. It does some of those things kind of well, or some of those things almost never. And integrators know, because they're testing this stuff themselves, what the user experience is like. So don't spend with your wallet, let the client make the choice. And I had a really good experience with this literally last month at the IBS show. My last class, a builder came up to me after, he pulled up the HTA site. During the thing, he came up to me after, the microphone's off and we're just chatting, and he had questions. He says, I used to bring up technology to my clients, but I stopped because it was becoming a pain in my butt. Well, tell me the problems. And it was the usual bad integrator stuff. And he says, but I know this company, I looked them up in your calculator. He said, the guys that started the integrator I work with came from there a few years ago, Nate, and they started their own company. And I think the other company's more expensive. I said, I bet you the HTA company's more expensive, but look, you just told me your own problem, and the presentation I gave was the answer. You were spending with your wallet and you weren't educating your client, or maybe you didn't know, but now you know. what a good integrator does, because I was showing them what drawings look like and such. I said that integrator that you mentioned, the HTA one, does design and engineering, and you're not paying an exorbitant fee, but you're getting a true professional, and they have a service department, so they're not going to be calling you on the weekends to get their control system up and running. He goes, because you're right. So I said, re-engage with that integrator and don't spend with your own wallet. And so going back to your question, if the builder is only interested in the cheapest price, I would ask them, what problems are you having with your integrators? Are the integrator, the cheap ones, are they calling you because the integrator is not servicing it? That's what happens oftentimes. The builder gets the call because the integrator stopped answering the phone, and that's a fail. You want to position yourself as the easy button. When I'm on the project, we're proactive with our service. You might even have service policies you sell. You might have 24/7 service. I'm not sure if you do, but if you have those things, those are things you want to bring up. Remember, market yourself as a three-phase company. We install and then we service. We want to take that burden of handling tech support calls away from you, Mr. or Mrs. Builder, and put it on us, because we want to service your client for life, not just for this installation, but technology is going to need to be upgraded down the road. We want to be that integrator for life. If they're only interested in price, even after that education, then maybe cut your losses because they're not worth it. They're not being a good partner to you. I certainly saw that out here in LA. Some of them, I never got this really verified, but some of them I think were on the take, because some of these integrators are working with were pretty horrible integrators. And I'm not just saying that in my opinion, like the rep firms knew that they were pretty crappy integrators and they're still getting these big jobs. And the service was bad, and you saw the work and you're like, how is this guy still on there? Maybe there's payola. I can't win that game. I don't want to play that game. Just move on. You'll find some builder, hopefully, that will respect you for you are. And maybe they're just not like this builder I talked to last month at the International Builder Show. It might be that you need to market yourself in this way we're talking about today, that you are the consultant, that you are helping be a solution provider. Let me share this tips too. This is we're talking about builders. This is the top 9 builder remodeler marketing tips. I will put this in the chat. The link to it is in the chat. We talk about that here. Step 3, educate them on how. Step 4, educate them on how you streamline the build process. Step 5, emphasize your role as a one-stop shop. So these are some of the things that you want to emphasize to them. If they don't value what you do, then they move on, right? But maybe just marketing yourself that way, like these are the core values that our integration firm holds. We want to be your partner. And when you bring me in early, then this is how I make your life easier. This is what's in it for you. And if you bring it, what's in it for them, you win that battle. I tell you, the good news for all of you to hear is that when I'm teaching architects, designers, and builders these days, they are very open to learning about technology, way more so than they were in the past. Here's the results of the poll. It was a fight back then. They didn't, oh yeah, if I have a really high-end client, I'll bring you in because you do the Crestron and the Lutron stuff, that's really expensive. That's changed quite a bit. They understand that technology is important to their clients' projects, and you just bring that up and emphasize it again. Hey, the stuff that we put in is what the clients can use every day. You're gonna use the internet, they're gonna watch TV, and they're gonna probably listen to music. You gotta get that stuff right. Another question, love the budget calculator, but for here it seems the TV section price is way too high. It might be, but look at the fine print on the budget calculator. When we're talking, you got a little bit of a fudge factor you could explain, because if you look at the TV prices in the small print, it says this includes a sound bar and even sources. So you have a wiggle room way out of it. But we're including not just the TV, we're including the TV, the mounting bracket, installation, in-source stuff, like we were saying, like, a Roku box, an Apple TV, and a sound bar. So it's a little padded in there. And you could explain like, oh, this is a little high, this calculator is a little high because, this would be a little bit less. But for the purposes of what it's designed to do is to create that budget range. This should work pretty well, but just keep an eye on that small print. And thank you. I know you're one of our great HTA certified dealers. So if you want to talk about more offline and you have some suggestions, we're always open to suggestions. But I'm glad you love the calculator. It is a massive, powerful tool when you leverage that up front. It's your friend because it takes the sticker shock off of you, puts it on a neutral third-party brand agnostic tool. And integrators, as you know, if you're using that, it helps close ratio and oftentimes bring budgets up. Anything else here? So we've got all the questions answered. This was great. I really, we still have quite a few on, which is really, really cool. So I really thank you for your attention, and there's a lot to get through. And I believe you can tell from the gist of this conversation, we're really vested in changing the dynamic out there and getting you brought to projects early. Hope you learned some points, because if you apply these, they will work. It's not theory, it's tested, it's proven. And if you meet those HTA certification qualifications, then get certified and see the difference in your close ratio, and we'll help you build those relationships with those trade partners, and they'll help you stay successful even when times get a little leaner, because you'll have a lot of folks that really trust you and will fight for you when there's a cheap punk slammer person out there that's competing against you. You're giving your architect, designer, builder partners ammunition to dig in for you. So thank you all for your time today. Since there's no more questions that have come in, I will close this, and this will be recorded. And again, you can email me if you want, or Jeff, if you want the recording to this. Jeff does some awesome work. Thank you, Jeff, for YouTube editing and cleaning things up. And we'll get this out there so you could watch it again and share it to others in your team. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.